Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek Moviecast, episode 507. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gass, joined by Mike Sneedy.
What's up?
Corey Feinsod.
Hello.
And Tony Korkanakis.
We're back in action, baby.
Yeah, last week, no podcast. Sorry everybody.
About that.
I was originally going to miss last week anyways, my girlfriend's birthday, but then a tropical storm had other plans for us all. So... yeah, the thing is, like, I was out of power till Saturday morning, so that was fun. Mike, when did you get yours back?
I don't know, 2 days later or something, two and a half days later. I know that we went to my mother's instead, who miraculously did have power. So
yeah. And we had a generator, but it was only running a few things.
Yeah.
So I can't say I've been watching much.
Stuff.
Yeah. Hey, the internet worked. As soon as I plugged the internet into the generator, which I did, of course, everything worked. So I was able to watch a little bit. We actually tried out YouTube TV, which is, it was because the cable was I don't have the main cable box. My brother does, and he didn't want to hook his TV up to his generator thing. So it was like, okay, fine, I'll hook the internet up. And then I signed up for a trial.
Judging YouTube TV.
Yeah, YouTube's fine. It was interesting. It worked. Lag-wise, it was actually right near the pitch count because I watched it for the Mets games, and it was only like 3 seconds behind on a delay, which is pretty good. By the time, it was really close. So I was very happy with it.
The Mets games on there?
Yeah. Listen, I'm a Mets fan. I had no power, and I felt like just
I know. It's just the Yankees will never get on something like that because they're too exclusive with their shit.
Oh no, the SNY.
MLB is like that. I mean,
yeah, I know, but even local markets, it's a whole other thing.
My microphone, I think I have a cable problem, but anyways.
Yeah, for some reason our internet didn't come back on until I think maybe Saturday it came back.
You guys
just this past Saturday.
Well, you couldn't even drive past your house.
Yeah, no, it was crazy, but
it was
the internet came back the next day, but the power came back the next day, but the internet didn't come back for a week.
Yeah, there was no internet at my mother's house, even though there was power.
Yeah. So, it was nasty storm. Nasty storm knocked down a lot of trees, caused a lot of damage in the area here. We got fucked. Anyways, hey, well, I want to welcome the listeners and viewers, by the way. I don't know if I did that in the beginning here.
Yep.
Went on this tangent.
Back.
We're back.
It's a lot of news.
Lots has happened.
If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe and like button, please. We do appreciate you guys watching it on there. But yeah, so a lot's happened, movie-wise, TV-wise. What we've been watching, like I said, I had no power, so I wasn't able to play many games last week. Although I have some good stuff to talk about in the Gamecast, so tune into that. But I was able to watch High Score Girl, which it's been a slog to get through now. That slows down massively. Did anybody else feel that way? Like Tony, did you get that vibe? I think it gets too lovey-dovey. It really does.
The second half is definitely more romantic, for sure.
Yeah, I'm only on 18. I'm like, I just kind of
the
stop.
other girl in there too, which definitely. Yeah. Now you got a lot of that going on, but.
The love triangle.
I could see that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I actually stopped. I was trying to finish that before I watched Umbrella Academy, but I stopped and I just started watching Umbrella Academy. Which I really am enjoying the second season so far. I only watched the first 3 episodes, but enjoying it. Who else has watched that? Anybody?
I finished it.
Oh, good. You finished it. What are your impressions?
No, I loved it. I thought it was actually just as good, if not better, than the first season.
So far, I'm enjoying it more. But yeah,
I think I might like it better just because I haven't read past what they did in the first season in the comic, so this was all new to me.
Well, I mean, it's all new for me too, but I think I'm enjoying this more. I think they're having more fun with the characters. It seems like in this one, it's the best way to say.
I like the new character also. I like that character they introduced in this. Yeah.
So I think that I watched that, and I also watched BNA, which I went because that was like I said, I was done with High Score Girl. I took a break and I watched 3 episodes of BNA, which
I don't know how you do that. Man. I don't know how you do that. Just watch it, man. Just go through it.
I'm never gonna pay attention. I'm not gonna pay attention to it.
20-minute episodes, dude.
There's 6 more episodes. That's 2 hours.
Just means he didn't like it that much at the time.
Yeah, it's
should just power through. Like there's, like I agree. Like it gets a little slow because the main character is like, oh, whatever, and then it picks up. The last couple episodes are pretty not action packed, but like it's just 6 episodes.
I know, but I'm the last 3 have been
just power through it, man.
Like I'm only on AT because I'm like I said the same thing you did. In my head when I went to go watch Umbrella Academy, I'm like Tony is going to say, dude, I cannot, because you did it to me with Voltron. And I'm like, I knew exactly what you just said. I knew was going to be said to me on this podcast. And I'm like, I just can't do it. So I'm like, I'm going to watch Umbrella Academy. I'm going to watch a little BNA, which was, I really enjoy that. That's really awesome. I love the art in that show. Love the characters, the Silver Fox, all those characters. Like the main character is really cool. Enjoying that first 3 episodes. You said that gets pretty dark quick, right?
There's some dark aspects to it for sure. I mean,
it seems really fun right now. It's like,
well, no, it's fun, but like, I mean, there's an episode with like trafficking and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's pretty dark.
Yeah, that is pretty dark.
I'm pretty sure that was episode 2 or 3.
That was episode 2. That was episode 2. So yeah, no, that did happen. That's true. But I'm like, it was still like the way they framed it though was like still well done. I don't know. It was really light.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
It's not like Game of Thrones start, but you're like,
no,
wait a second. They're trafficking kids and women.
Yeah. So I mean, that's really it for me. Corey, do you want to talk more about Umbrella at all? Or?
Yeah, no, I'm like you were saying, I really enjoy what's this season of Umbrella Academy. I think you are correct. I like that they separated them. Right in the beginning, like it's not a spoiler. Right in the beginning, it takes place right after what happens at the end of the first season, and right in the beginning, you see them get separated, and it's throughout different time periods, but all in the past, like all in the early '60s, and so it's quite interesting how they have to come together and figure out what's going on, and the first season is like the end of the world, and this is like, well, it followed us. So
yeah, I do love that. Yeah.
But it is timely also because there is some issues, racial issues and things that are brought up here that are interesting. So, but it's really fun. It's just a lot of fun, and they do a great job, and every character is great. Like Klaus is still like awesome. That guy, like. Yeah. The Misfits guy, he's so good.
He was so good in Misfits. He was the best character in Misfits.
As soon as he left, I stopped watching it.
Left. Yeah.
I also watched Upload because I was at my aunt's house for a few days, and she has Amazon Video. I don't have it right now, so I watched that, and it was good. I think it's definitely an interesting like love story. Like, how do you like have different like approach on a love story? I thought it was interesting. So. Curious to see where that goes in the next seasons. But other than that, that's pretty much it.
Okay. All right. Tony?
Let's see. Been doing a lot of chores around the house, so kind of just I put Office on the background just because it's not something I have to pay attention to.
Best background.
Like right, I can just chuckle along with some of the jokes and stuff like that. And there's some stuff where I'm like, I don't know if this would go over too well these days with some of the jokes and the humor and stuff like that. But that's great. We have it fully documented and stuff like that. But then I also watched what was it the Netflix Transformers series, CGI animated.
Yes, I watched some of that too. Sorry, I forgot about that. I told you I gave up on High Score Girl. Go on.
Oh God, dude, you kill me.
I watched the first.
You get like 85% of the way through, and you're just like, eh.
I watched the first 3 episodes of Transformers. I wanted to talk about it in the podcast.
This is from a guy who would not get out of he would not get up and leave a movie that he hates, but he'll
Yeah.
You know what you're doing, Jim, with your TV watching. You're going on side quests.
I am getting distracted by side quests right now. But I wanted to, for the podcast, for the viewers and the listeners, I wanted to watch Transformers. I'm not a huge Transformers fan. But I knew Tony would watch it, and I thought we could talk about it. So go on, chime in.
I did see the first 3 seconds of that.
Yeah. I think you were about to say 3 episodes. 3 seconds.
No, it started buffering like real bad, so I was like, well, never mind. I'll wait until later.
Yeah, I mean, it's a mixed bag. I mean, overall, it was good. It wasn't like bad or anything like that.
I didn't really like the first episode so much.
It's really weird.
It seemed dark, and then it. But
that is extremely just like left and right. I'm just like,
it was weird because it's still like a kid's show, and I'm like, this is a kid's show, right? Like, yeah.
Like that's the thing is like where I'm not sure who the audience is supposed to be. Like at first I was like, oh, you know, they're like retelling the origins of like the G1 thing from a new modern era with Optimus Prime, you know, being the young heroic leader and stuff like that. But then they have some weird humor in it. I'm like, okay, maybe it's like supposed to be for kids and stuff like that. And then like there's like death and dismemberment and all this other stuff. I'm like,
people's heads getting shot off.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, maybe
it sounds a little bit what Young Justice season 3 like felt like.
It is similar. It is similar to that, Mike. That's the vibe I got from this. It's similar. You're kind of like, I'm enjoying this, but I'm like, could a kid watch this? That's what I was doing when I was watching it. Yeah.
Yeah, because again, like for most of the cartoons, like nobody ever really dies. It's just like, oh, you wounded me, I got to retreat or something like that, and it's like, okay. But I mean, it's overall pretty solid. Animation is better than I expected. Almost all the characters are rendered based on their most recent toy, obviously, because it's got to be a toy commercial, got to sell those things and stuff like that. I think the biggest thing for me was like the voice acting, because like the guy who is voicing Optimus Prime is not Peter Cullen, who's the original voice actor, but it's some dude that I think is a non-union guy that is trying his best to do an Optimus Prime impression.
Yes. For me, it's like, if you're gonna bring the character, like make something new with your character, make him your own. Like, why are you trying to mimic? Yeah.
Right. Like that's my biggest thing. It's like, look, like just do your own voice. Like, don't try to do this like half-ass diet Optimus Prime original voice actor voice. Just do your own voice, you know?
Broke-ass Optimus Prime.
Right, exactly. Because like the thing is, right? Because like a lot of the other series used other voice actors, and you know, they grew in them. Like the guy who does Beast Wars Optimus, like is a completely different guy, and he's just as loved, you know, for a different generation, stuff like that.
Well, it's like, it reminds me of like the Batman, when they're doing Batman's voice when they finally replaced Conroy. It's like the people that tried to mimic him were the ones we all hated, but if you just kind of do your own thing, you kind of get your own.
Yeah, exactly.
That said, though, it's kind of the opposite with Joker.
I didn't mention that on purpose, but I think everybody tries to do a little bit of Hamill. That's why. But
yeah.
But I do want.
I think the same what you said with like Wolverine too. But you know, there's certain characters that go like that, and some that don't.
Megatron in the show is doing his own thing. That voice actor is,
and that's fine.
And I like Megatron's voice in this.
Yeah.
But I do get the same. I got the same vibe from Optimus in this as you did. And I'm not even that big of a Transformers fan, but I'm like, this just feels wrong. That's all.
Feels wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, overall it was solid. I'm excited to see where, you know, the next season, whenever that is. It just kind of feels weird because you could tell that this was supposed to come out last year, because like all the toys from last year were this season 1, and like now I think we're about to get like the season 3 character. I'm just like, we haven't even seen season 2, and those characters just came out a couple months ago and stuff like that. So I'm like, whatever, you know, who cares? But yeah, it was solid. I'm just excited that, you know, Netflix, you know, taking a chance on Transformers, because it's been a little while since the last series. I forget what the last one was. That wasn't like Bot Heroes or Rescue Bots or whatever that, I don't know. Like that was genuine for kids. Correct. I'm sure you know which one I'm talking about or something like that. Leader Kids, Transformers,
Paw Patrol.
Yeah, exactly. The equivalent of that. So yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
All right, Mike.
Well, if you noticed, everything I've been watching lately has been all on one streaming service that's going to be in the news. But so I finished, and I was surprised I finished it. I finished Doom Patrol. This season, the first season had like 14 episodes, and that felt okay. Maybe a little long at first, but this season I felt like it just started, and it stopped at episode 9. Like very abruptly, it seems like too. And considering that you're not sure how or when the next season is going to happen, if it is, the way this ended is borderline irresponsible. And it's not the first time DC Universe did something like this, because when I binged through Titans, the season 1 finale was not really the finale. It was like the premiere, like actually wrapped up that story of the second season. So we're left on a pretty awful, it's not like bad, but it is a little bit awful cliffhanger on the end of Doom Patrol season 2 here, where
close to like Halo 2 cliffhanger.
I don't know. I didn't play that single player ever.
Whoa. All right.
But no, it just seemed like the season was just getting going almost, and then like everything is up.
Was this
in the air.
affected by the COVID stuff?
I don't know. I don't think so. Because it did seem, while it's abrupt, it was within sort of the continuity of what was happening. It's just certain characters like kind of didn't do much this season, or they had like a couple episodes early and that was it. And then like what happened could have went on or been resolved if there was a few more episodes, but there wasn't. So we're left with everything up in the air here, and this is the one issue I have with these streaming shows, and there's not the like typical TV schedule, so you don't know, even if it does get renewed, you don't know when you're gonna watch this. It could be in like 2-3 years the next season will come out, so we'll see. But it's almost like I had to kind of forget about it a little bit, which is how I felt when The Witcher ended too. But I mean, overall, the second season's still pretty good, and the show is wacky, but it is a little annoying how it ended. And we'll see what happens with everything on this platform soon.
Yeah. As we'll get into now. I mean, the news this week, AT&T, we were talking about on the Gamecast about AT&T selling maybe to Microsoft for their Warner division. But Warner is by itself in deep shit in terms of like just DC Comics, which obviously they own DC. I'm sorry, AT&T owns DC, Warner, and so they had massive layoffs at DC Comics. They did a restructuring entirely. Where the only reason why I think Jim Lee kept his job is because of who he is, like the name. That's it, because everybody else got like just destroyed. They're gone. So there was news that the day before, like people were happy. Mike, you were happy when they said, Rocksteady was not going to be sold.
Yeah, they're not shopping the games anymore, but.
Yeah, but then you find out this news and you're like, geez, there's a whole bunch of layoffs. Let me just read this real quick. Let me get this open. So give a significant number of high-level figures. It's going to be, it's according to Hollywood Reporter, roughly 1/3 of DC's editorial ranks are going to be gone. The vice president of publishing, vice president of marketing, global publishing initiatives. Like I said, Jim Lee got restructured into a new role. Oh no, he's going to still be the chief creative officer, and that's it, pretty much. But he lost his other positions, I think. So, yeah, big hit on them.
I mean, just a note: Warner Brothers laid off 800 people, and it was across the company.
The company's restructuring efforts. Majority of the staff has reportedly been laid off on DC Universe, the subscription service. Widely expected as Warner Media shifts its focus to the new streaming service HBO Max. Now, we've talked about this on the podcast for how long that it makes the most sense to just mold these two together. Having people lose their job is a completely different situation here. It's nobody was asking for that. But I'm not shocked that they're doing this. I mean, this I think proves they're going to move it into HBO Max. I think, right? I mean, Sam Bell's arguments.
Yeah, I'm wondering when, and I'm wondering what subscribers might be able to get.
It's weird that like HBO Max is losing licenses and stuff from DC though. It's like why is that going away? That's what worries me
too, because I'm worried. Because in my opinion, and you have to like DC to have this opinion, the content, but it has way more original content than something like disneyplus, by a lot.
Yeah, it's got a lot of nice original content. You're right, absolutely.
And I'm on there. I see like at least like 3 or 4 of the animated features I want to see. I really didn't even like dip into the animated series. I didn't get the new adventures or all that stuff. That's why I got the year-long subscription to this thing, because I figured I have a lot of stuff to watch. I went through Titans. I went through Doom Patrol. I might do Harley Quinn, but. And I even started to watch a comic on there, although I'm not big into watching comics on electrical stuff, but I started one, but I stopped halfway through. But it's there. It's just, it doesn't feel right to me. But
I can understand
that's all there. So I'm skeptical that all of it will get transferred over there. And if that's
I doubt that's. I mean, that's all of it's not going. There's no way. And that's the other thing is like that's what I was worried about is licensing. Like DC Universe licensing may be different than what HBO can get. Like HBO, there might be rules that are in place that HBO might not be able to have certain things yet.
Yeah, right. I mean, look, we're dealing with that with Disney. Yeah, but go on.
Yeah, it's just, it's unfortunate. And, maybe we haven't talked about this as much, but the fact that, when the merger happened, or the acquisition, whatever you want to prefer to call it, you could tell that the focus, what Warner Brothers / DC wants, is different than what, AT&T wants.
When did this happen exactly? Because I didn't know until now, pretty much, or recently when I talked about it, that AT&T owned them.
I want to say it was
like
within the past
years ago.
Yeah, like 2-3 years, something like that. Let me see. AT&T, we're doing it live.
And who was the owner before that, then?
They were, I think, independent, right?
Yeah, it was Time Warner. I know was a big thing. Was it just them? Well, either way, I'm not too happy about this because I really do like the service, even though there's some interface issues that it's kind of
2018.
Yeah, so that's kind of recent, and so is AT&T the EA of of TV and movies, and all this makes it, this DC fandom event, which is just
that's the other thing.
Like, what are they going to announce with any confidence at this point now? Like,
no, I mean,
they made this event. They've been hyping it for a long time, and what's going to be there now? Like, with any confidence being announced?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Well, I mean, they have the movie side of things.
Are they just going to spend the whole day just trashing Joss Whedon? Like, is that it?
I mean, that's what Snyder will be doing for sure. 1 million%.
That seems to be the only company direction that they all can agree on right now.
Well, that's it's mostly Snyder, because they're just like, hey man, you got your Snyder cut, whatever. But the thing is, I'm not surprised either at the timing, because the DC fandom thing, I'm sure was in place a couple of months ago, and I'm pretty sure this AT&T thing had to do with their financial results, because this is the time of year when most of the companies do that. And they got to answer to the shareholders about why, everything is in trash. And the majority of it has to do, to the COVID situation and all that stuff. It's really surprising to me that the Warner Brothers segment, which can easily embrace and fill a niche or a want or a need, whatever you want to call it, for digital consumption of products, whether it's movies, animated shows, digital comics, that kind of stuff. Like, they're just like, oh, you know what? We're going to cut all this shit. We're going to cut all this shit. It's just like, okay, so short-term profits or, loss reduction. And what's your service going to be like in a year or 2 years? You're getting rid of like a third of, DC Universe and a third of the people from DC editorial and stuff like that. So now you're going to have less material for your comics to use as source material for new shows and new movies and new adaptations. I guess we're just good with what we've had up until now. Like, I don't know.
And I couldn't even know they were doing poorly recently. It's like there was, like, was there indications other than DC Universe, them moving away from it, seeming like branding wise? What other indications were there that they were doing bad?
Oh, it's a company thing. Like, they probably were looking at everything like overall throughout the companies, like, where can we cut costs? Because this one area is not working, and so now we need to cut costs in all areas, is what's probably going on.
I guess so.
That's how it works, man.
We can go back to, let's say, April. Company said it earned $4.61 billion, or 63% the first quarter, which is down from 4.86, and that was in April. So I don't know how bad it was. I'm looking for like the June or July report, because that's where we'd be right now.
Wow.
Yeah. Here we go. Let's see. Services revenue down 1.1% due to decline in international roaming. This is actual AT&T stuff. AT&T.
Yeah, it's just,
whatever. It's just these secret bullshit.
Company's not doing well. COVID probably affected them. Like, they need to cut costs, and that's probably the easiest thing they can.
Okay, here we go. So for the second quarter, totaled $41 billion versus $45 billion a year ago. So that's why. $4 billion, in a year difference, is the issue there. So.
I think any company big enough would see losses similar to that, though, in this particular year. So, I don't know. It seems like you said, seems a little bit like a knee-jerk reaction from them, but
Yeah.
whatever.
All right. Let's go into some other news with reboots, remakes. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is being rebooted with into a drama, which I thought the first one was kind of a drama. It was comedy, but it was a drama.
It had very special
dramedy.
episodes. It had very special episodes every now and then.
Will Smith will be on board with this in terms of working on it, and I think he's producing this. So I don't know if he's starring in it yet, but they haven't really given much in terms of what they're
not his kid.
He better.
But he is producing. So that is happening.
I don't think it works unless he's in it.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. So let's see. So that's announced today, yesterday, or 2 days ago. We had the X-Men, the animated series news mentioned that they're in talks to revive the cartoon. Be that a short miniseries, a one-off movie, or...
I'll believe it when I see it.
I don't like this because honestly, this is clickbait. Like, okay, yeah, they talked about it as in like, hey, we'd like to do this. That's it.
Yep.
And I guarantee you,
it's cool.
No. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but I guarantee you they're hoping for this reaction so that all these sites and people like us
like
talk about it.
The Deadpool leaks, like, gotta get that out there so the fans can start talking about it. But there's nothing right now. It's just people just like mention, wouldn't that be cool?
He did say the producer of the original cartoon. He's the producer. Said he went to Disney Plus, told them the idea, and it's in their court pretty much right now.
Yeah, that's what. So they just want to drum up some excitement. Which
and there's nothing wrong with that. I just want to make sure that I would be 1,000,000% about that, or even like a reboot. Like that would be awesome.
Or just like a new X-Men cartoon in general.
Yeah, just a new. Yeah,
God,
something new.
What was the last one? Was it Wolverine and the X-Men? And that was like 8 years ago or something. Right?
Yeah, that had to be the latest.
A long time ago. And it was short-lived. It was only like a year or two, right?
Yeah, that was two seasons, I think.
Yeah, so they could use a new X-Men cartoon. So Disney Plus X-Men cartoon. What do you guys think? Would that work?
Yeah,
it better. If it doesn't work, then what's the point of Disney Plus? Kind of like that's the type of thing that they need to do.
Yeah, I mean, something not coming to Disney Plus, but the theaters is the New Mutants.
Plus the new thing is, I mean, they obviously want to put X-Men in the next phase of the MCU.
They'll be in phase 4.
They need to repair all the damage they did to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I mean, I wouldn't say they did the damage. They just let Fox do all the damage on their own accord. They did nothing to help.
Although this is hilarious that
they did like not have toys out for kids for a long time.
Oh, I mean, they have to do that. They don't have to do that.
Erase them from existence.
Yeah, they can really cash in now on Wolverine more. Try to bring him back to popularity. I know, but he's a very popular character, so you got to bring him back in.
I don't know if he is anymore.
We've had that conversation. I don't know how many times. He's not the level of Spider-Man. He's not, you know what I mean? Like I get it, but
he was at a time, but not anymore.
No, he was at a time. Absolutely, the '90s for sure. Early '00s, sure. Now,
it was a deliberate move by Marvel.
Yeah, absolutely, and it paid off. It did. I'm sorry, but it's true. Was it good for us? We don't know yet. We'll find out as they make more X-Men stuff. We don't know if it's good for us yet. However, New Mutants, which is the Fox relic, is actually going to be released in theaters. I find it funny that Disney has just said, you know what? Yes, it's, 2 weeks. Yes, and they're not moving the date. There are no theaters open. They're like, yes, it's launching. That's it.
I kind of feel like they're like, yep, we launched it, and they're gonna find like one bumblefuck theater.
Well, do you see Alamo? They're gonna, like in Texas, I think they allow you to rent out the theater for $150, and you can bring 30 people.
And there are drive-in theaters too to get it, but like it's gonna be such a small opening. But you know what it is? At this point, Disney's like, if it dies, it dies, right?
It's gotta get. They gotta get it out so that way they can start doing stuff with it, whatever they want with it.
Yeah. I wonder how long it's gonna take for us to be able to judge movies by box office again.
Oh no!
Man,
I wouldn't even say 2021. I'd say earliest is 2022.
Yeah, probably. I'm looking forward to the days where we can talk about the box office again. Like I just want to have that conversation. It's like, let's go look at the box office. Like it's not going to be great, but I'd like to go ahead and look at it sometime. Right now, there's no reason to.
We're gonna look at like $1,000 box offices.
I feel like next summer, depending on how this goes with treatments and whatever, we can start talking about certain movies. I think we'll still get some releases at that point, but I know that it's going to be sporadic and there's going to be a lot less numbers because there will be a lot more online releases now. We know that. Yeah. So
absolutely, just like with Disney. Do we have it on the news with Mulan?
No, we don't. But Mulan's, I forgot to put it on here, but Mulan is coming to Disney Plus, which, I'm not shocked.
People are not liking this price point.
Well, yeah, they're going to charge people $30 to view it.
Yeah.
It's a one-time thing. It is a one-time fee of $30.
Yeah, so here's the thing. So they're justifying this. It's like, well, you're not going to go to the movies by yourself, but you can watch, with like your whole family like this movie. But it could just be you. And
well, it could be, but you do.
That's like a $30 ticket plus, what do you pay for the subscription?
If it was $20, I'd feel better about it.
Yeah.
No, I don't mind 30. I really don't. Not with for me, I got I got Ari.
Yeah, I'd say like 2. It's like kind of like on the fence about if you like that particular like. I'm taking aside like the whole. It's Mulan. I'm just saying if it's $30 for any Disney movie, early day and date release with the theaters, if you have 2 people's on the fence on whether it's value or not because how much you really want to see it. Anything beyond that, I mean, that's gravy. If you have 3 people, that's $10 per ticket. Yeah. That's less than most, anything that is actually popular.
Unlike Trolls 2 that I rented here at home for $20 and saw it one time because you can't watch it after that.
Yeah.
After you pay the $30, you can watch it forever. Plus it'll be on Disney Plus. And those who want to wait, it will be on Disney Plus at some point.
Yeah. The thing is, I kind of wish. So their messaging was really off on this. And I understand it's the first one, so I personally expected that. But the internet does not. With that said, I think if it was personally me, because I would be the only one watching it, $30 is a little too high for me. 20, I might have thought about it. Mm-hmm. Or if it was 30 and you get what's the Voodoo movies anywhere, whatever, that kind of thing.
Sure.
They're like, hey, even if you fuck off off of Disney Plus after this, you get to keep Mulan. I would have been like, okay, for $30, that's great. That's a great value.
That's true.
You're paying for it early, But it's the first one. If it goes
my question is how does that transaction work? It's an in-app purchase, or
they're changing the entire thing apparently.
Yeah.
This feature.
Okay. So, I'm like, I don't even know how it's gonna work because I'm prepaid for 3 years on Disney Plus. So
yeah.
So they're gonna sneak in a premium with this premium version now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I mean, if we can see if you can see the next Avengers movie at home,
right? That's what I'm saying. Like Black Widow, I'd probably pay $30 for that.
Yeah, I'd pay. Absolutely.
For that.
Hell, guys, come on over and watch. At that point, maybe we can actually have people over to hang out. Maybe, you know what? I have an idea. Black Widow comes to this. I will put an outside projector. Yeah. Outside projector. Yeah. You guys head on over and we'll watch it here at the house. Yeah, how about that?
Do that.
Okay. Maybe then I would actually watch it.
Or whatever house.
Do we have to pay you now?
Yes, it's a small entry fee of $10 a car.
Actually, that's illegal.
It'd be fine. We talked about doing this anyways for Stranger Things, and we can just do it here again. We'll do it again.
We did do it.
Yeah, we did.
In one state.
Yeah, but
we started too late. But you have to wait for it to be dark. That's the problem. Yeah. So.
In the dead of summer.
Yeah, in the dead of summer, 10 o'clock. But
yeah, so the thing is, I mean, obviously online reactions were pretty negative, which I expect because it's like, oh, I'm already paying money for this. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time,
it's a big microtransaction.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a microtransaction. It's a transaction.
No, it's a macro transaction.
Yeah, it's a macro transaction.
Yeah.
Sure. So the thing is here, it's the first time they're doing it. If it's priced too high, then they'll obviously come down with the price. They'll be like, hey, you know what? Maybe 25, because that's the next price point.
Again, this reminds me a little bit of the 2K pricing in video games, 2K21. If it was something that was like a surefire, everyone was super excited about it, and maybe it would have gone over a little better.
Oh yeah, this is like Avengers.
There's been some wishy-washy and a little bit of controversy around this movie already, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure this was the one that people were like, all right, I can buy into this.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Mulan, don't get me wrong, even the original Mulan, I mean, it's liked. I wouldn't say it's loved, generally.
Yeah.
Aside from the one song, I'll Make a Man Out of You. That's
it's Disney's B tier.
And it's not even going to be in this movie.
Right, it's not even going to be in this movie. And yeah, like you said, the controversy, me personally, I'm boycotting this movie because, the main actor's just, pro CCP and all that shit. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
the problem for me is I got a 7-year-old who you can't explain that to. So we're gonna.
I know that's I can take a stand. So that's fine with me. But
I mean, you can still take a stand, Jim. You're just choosing not to.
Yes, I can.
I wasn't going to say.
Okay. I could have a very upset 7-year-old here that doesn't. Absolutely.
How long could you really?
You got the
stay
cartoon.
Mad?
I mean, you got the
how
cartoon.
How could you really stay mad?
Yeah.
Actually, you know, I'm trying
Their
to.
attention spans.
I did try to sway her from it by saying there's no Mushu in this movie.
Let's be honest, Jim. It's
yes, I am
it's not the 7-year-old. It's Amanda. She wants to watch this, isn't it?
Yeah, Amanda wants to see it too. Amanda loves the original movie too. So
It's
but
2v1.
I completely forgot. I watched Muppets Now, by the way. I completely forgot about that too. But the new Muppet Show on Disney Plus, it's excellent, by the way. Excellent.
Okay.
I absolutely loved it. I would absolutely recommend you guys check it out. It's like the Muppet Show.
What is
Do you
it?
remember the Muppet Show?
Yeah, I watched it.
It's
I
the
remember
Muppet Show.
I remember mostly the new Muppet Show that happened in the late '90s. If you remember that one.
I don't remember that one. I just remember the 70s one. This one is, which I was never even alive for, but I watched it afterwards. This one is very much like that on Zoom. Everything happens on Zoom because it's lockdown mode, so they do it like that, and it's really cool what they did. I was very happy with it. Like I watched it with my 7-year-old here, and it's just like, yeah, I watched it, but I'm like, I really enjoyed it. So, but side note there. So yeah. Anyways, where were we? We were talking about that, and yep. So we lost Tony for a second. Okay.
No, my connection. I don't know what happened to it.
Last thing on the news, we got Digital Comic-Con 2020. Not shocked. New York Comic-Con sent the email out today. They won't be selling badges this year. We will be doing an online event, and I'm not shocked from it.
I think conventions are going to be last of everything.
I'm actually excited for this. No, I think movie theaters are going to be last. I believe it or not.
I think movie theaters were ready to open
I just watched trend. I'm looking at spending trending, like the people that follow the business side of things, and like the least consumer confidence right now is for movie theaters. Like, yes, gatherings, like large gatherings, concert halls and stuff are right next to that. But percentage-wise, it's like 5% difference in terms of the amount of people that were not going to go to a movie before they went to a concert. Like, it's that much better. I think 65% no for
justify
movies.
a low capacity movie theater easier than
I feel like you could eventually, but it's still indoor air, and it's like
either way.
We're all gonna get locked in school soon, anyways. I am, so it's like I'm gonna get it anyways here soon. So thank you, world. But not to get political on this, but that's the reality situation. So where were we?
Yeah, so New York Comic-Con is Comic-Con at home again, which apparently no one paid attention to with the San Diego Comic-Con at home. They had
watched a few of those panels, but
I know, but I mean,
follow.
like
That's
they
the
were.
thing.
They were.
Like,
I read.
There's no mega announcements because Marvel didn't do anything. DC has their fandom event.
Out. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, all the big ones bowed out because they want to have their own, personal thing, and that most of the ones that can do that did that, opted for it.
I mean,
so it was
I'm
a smart announcement.
I'm excited for it. There was some good stuff. Like Bill and Ted's thing was awesome. They announced the fact that they're going digital for their movie and theater, so you can watch it both ways. Which I think is going to be a good way to do things going forward.
So what's going to be left over for the New York, ugly
Well, New York
stepchild?
was more TV oriented anyway. I mean,
TV, comic book.
We're gonna hear about the next CW crisis for whenever.
Whatever AMC is churning out, I don't know what.
Whatever Netflix, maybe there'll be a new
or Walking Dead stuff.
Cartoon.
Yeah, there'll be something Walking Dead, I'm sure there. So, all right. And that's really it. That's really it for the news. That's going to wrap up this episode. We're through it. So thanks for tuning in. You can write us podcast at allyoucangeek.net. Follow us on Twitter, allyoucangeek. Like us on Facebook. If you're watching this on this YouTube channel, please hit that subscribe and the like button. We appreciate it. See you guys next week.